Well, you're listening to the Drew and Mia podcast show. I am Drew.
And I am Mia.
Hey, so listen, this is our very first one. We're glad and excited to be here. We have a great show in store for you guys. But first, I wanted to do this, Mia. I wanted to just kind of introduce ourselves so people can, learn a little bit more about us and who we are and why we're here and all of those things. So I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to let you go first and just kind of let people know who you are and just some great things about you and all of those things.
Definitely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Drew. I am Mia Nelson Tatum, 38 years old, born and raised in good old Houston,
H-Town.
Texas. Yes, my city. To the Bishop A.C. Nelson Jr., he is deceased, my father, and Evangelist Betty Ransom Nelson. I am a church girl, Church of God in Christ, born and bred. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, singer, entrepreneur, jack of all trades. And listen, that's just me, good old girl from H-Town, just giving it to the people real, raw, and uncut.
Yeah, you just give them a little bit version. There's a whole lot more to you than that, but we got it. They'll learn more about you over time.
Definitely.
So I'm Drew Antoine, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, the NO.
Yep.
Houston has always been second home. We used to come out here when Six Flags was off and popping, get on a good old bus ride and come on out to Houston. So Houston has always been second home. Dallas was home first, and then I decided to move here in 2010. So it's been home officially for me since 2010. Singer-songwriter, musician, former music educator, cookbook author, entrepreneur, own multiple businesses in three states. I've worked with so many people in my career, so I'm not going to go through that whole list. But I've been in entertainment and music probably going on 20-something years now.
Wow.
I've released several projects. I've had opportunities to sing with, Shaka Khan and Houston's own Yolanda Adams and so many others. So that's just kind of a little bit about us. Like I said, you guys will learn more about us over time. But we just wanted to kind of give you a little bit about, who we are and why we're here. So the Dreux and Mia podcast show is something new, something fresh. We wanted to come and kind of bring the perspective from the millennial side and just kind of show you guys, and talk to you guys from really where everybody should be or where we are. And then, we have the male and female perspective. So that's the reason why. And Mia is one of my good friends. We've been knowing each other now a long time, maybe 10, 11, 12 years. I'm not sure, somewhere around there. But she's always been a down-to-earth girl, always been real, always been just a genuine person. And she was the first person that I thought of when this idea, this concept came to me. Aww. So I had to make sure that, I reached out to her in the right timing so that everything could just kind of fall in place. So that's where we are. That's us. If you want to know more about us, go to the website, DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com. Again, that's DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com. So, Miss Mia, let's get started. What are we talking about today? What's our first topic that we need to go over?
Listen, I am so hyped about this presidential election.
Man.
I am so hyped. Like, can you believe that we now have a vice president who not only is a woman, but a black woman?
I think that's epic. So we've had a black president.
Yes.
But some people don't know, if you go all the way back to the Continental Congress, that was actually a first black president a long time ago, and that nobody ever really talked about.
Really?
But I don't know how official it was, because, back then black people weren't considered anything.
Right.
But if you go all the way back to the Continental Congress, before we have the actual Congress that we have now, That was actually a black person that led that. I forgot his name, but I just wanted to mention that because we don't really talk about that. And of course, it was never in textbooks. I know I didn't learn about it until President Obama took office. So that was way too late. I had already graduated high school in 99, so it was way too late. But I'm definitely excited about it.
So excited.
We're getting rid of this guy. Let's get him out. January 20 can't come fast enough.
I know. I want to go to the inauguration.
I really do. But, tickets are expensive.
Very.
But good news is, for me at least, I did reach out to Representative Lizzie Fletcher, who's my congressperson.
Okay.
And she did put me on the list for some tickets. So if all goes well, I will get inauguration tickets. And I did include you in that number. So we're just waiting to hear back from her if they'll actually have enough to give to
Okay.
everyone that's on that waiting list. But I did reach out to her. She said, definitely, if you guys can make it on this list, then we'll make sure we get those tickets to you. So I said, okay. So I included you in that number, by the way. So you might just want to look at flights, because I know last time I checked, flights were like $300-$400.
Okay. I'm
So
gonna definitely look into it. I'm gonna go ahead and speak it into existence.
let's do it.
We
One
going.
one day we'll be on private jets. We won't have to look at flights.
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
We'll have our own private jet. We just call them and tell them, "Hey, we about to go. Come on, let's go."
Listen, I'm excited. I wanted to just throw out that Biden's camp and the people that he's having to come in are new. Everyone is new. Like, say for instance, Cecilia Rouse, the first woman to lead the U.S. intelligence. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Then you have Adewale Ademoyo, and you have Carlos Elizondo. Like, everyone is first. Is first first Hispanic American white social secretary. Then you have an African man who is going to be the first Black deputy secretary of Treasury. So, like, I'm so
Wow.
excited that they are building up a camp and a group of people who actually look like us.
Look like
It's a
America.
diverse group of people. And so I'm so excited, especially because Camilla is representing not only her Black side, but also the Indian descent.
Yeah.
She's the first vice president woman to hold this office. So I'm so hyped up about it. I'm so happy for her. I mean, it just brings us to a whole nother level of women can actually do anything.
Always believed that. And I mean, I actually voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 because
Yeah.
I thought that a woman could do the job. And with her background, I mean, I thought she was well qualified despite the controversies and all of the other things she were involved in.
Exactly.
I still thought she was qualified enough to lead the country and to
Right.
take on that presidency role. So I'm definitely with you. I definitely believe women are well qualified, just like any man. They can do
Absolutely.
it. They have the education, the experience, and I'm glad to see that he's at least honoring his commitment to making sure that his team, his cabinet, his administration looks like America.
Exactly.
We are a big old bowl of gumbo. There's everything here. This should not
Yep.
be all white thing or all black thing. There's a little bit of everything in there. And
A
like
melting
you said,
pot.
melting pot. And like you said, a lot of them are going to be the first in their families to take
Yes.
that position. Just representing all of it, and I'm glad about it. And I know that there's a lot of controversy with, her past and what she did as Attorney General in California, with Vice President-elect Biden, his stance long time ago. And those issues are important, and we don't want to hold that against them,
Right.
because they've changed over the years.
Exactly.
And what they did back then, they've already talked about, they've already said, listen, it may not have been the best decision that I made in my career, so don't hold that against me. Just like we make bad decisions,
Exactly.
don't hold that against us forever. We've
Exactly.
changed, we've evolved, we've grown, we've learned our lesson. So let's look at where we are now in 2020 as we head into 2021. And then let's see where we
Exactly.
are with that. I mean, but people are still talking about it. They didn't want to vote for her because she did this. She incarcerated so many black and brown young men. And I get it. It's important. I get it. I know it's hurtful. I know that those guys are still serving their time. And maybe as vice president, she will come up with a plan
Correct.
to where she can come in and intervene. And let's say, okay, listen, they've done their due diligence. Let's get them out. Let's, try to work on some type of reformation so we can kind of move forward from there. So
And
that's
just give
just
her
where
an
I am.
opportunity to right her wrongs, even
Basically.
if she felt like it was a wrong. But it boils down to the lesser of two evils.
Right.
These are the only two people that we have. So who are you going to pick, Biden or Trump? So
Right.
you're going to pick the lesser of two evils. And so, yeah, people change. And so I totally agree. I'm happy with the decision, and I'm just ready to move forward and
I
do
know I
things
am.
different, because the last couple of years have been trash.
A lot of trash. I mean, like I wish we could actually say the word, but it's been that, and it's just awful. And to the people who actually, and I mean, I'm just going out with it, to the people that actually supports Donald Trump and his shenanigans. Like, come on, are you serious?
Something wrong with
I don't have a problem with people who are Republican, because I know many great people who are
Correct.
Republican. I have a problem with people who specifically supports him and everything that he does and everything that he says. They don't find no problem. They're okay with it. I don't understand. How can you support somebody like that? I just don't get it. That's just me. I don't know where everybody else is, but that's just me.
I definitely agree. I don't get it either. So my grandmother used to tell me things that you can't change, you just accept. And so I just let people vote for whoever they want to vote. But I know in my decision to vote, I already knew that I was going to vote for Biden because Trump had already shown his hand. He already showed us who he is as not only a president but as a person.
Right, right.
And so I was just like, it's a no for me.
I think it's a no for a lot of people. And we showed up, we showed out, we made our voices be heard.
Yep.
And I'm just so glad that people, I mean, we have record breaking numbers
Absolutely.
of people showing up and showing out at polls in the middle of a global health pandemic.
Yep.
People were showing up and saying, listen, I'm tired of this SHIT.
Yep.
We got to get him out of here.
They wanted change.
They wanted change. We wanted change, and we got it. So, we're just praying and we're hopeful that 2021 is nothing like 2020.
Absolutely.
And that we're moving forward in a good direction. We can heal
Yes.
as a nation.
Yes.
We can come together as a nation. We can unite as a nation. And we can just kind of get back on track. I know we were never perfect, and we probably never get to that point. But at least we had some type of common decency towards one another.
Absolutely.
We wasn't trying to kill everybody. We wasn't being racist like that. And that's one thing that I hate, the fact that he has that much power and influence. He has given permission to all of the ones who were just hiding or being secretive about their hate. He's giving them permission to come on out, let it
They
come
out the
on out,
closet.
out the closet. They came out the woodworks, and I'm just like, what's going on? But it just kind of helps us to see that, you really have to do what the Bible says and watch and pray.
That's right.
You have to watch and always pray that, listen, I don't know you. I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But just remember, we don't know each other, so let's stay our distance now.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, my God. Well, we're glad. 2021, Lord, please let it be something good for us. We got a new president, new vice president. We're
Praise
breaking
God.
records. I mean, let's just see. It looks like it's headed in a good direction. So we're just going to keep our hope, keep our faith, and just keep on moving.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of talk about, I mean, it's a good segue. Like, how have we been making it through this pandemic? How have we been remaining focused and not losing ourselves? I saw the statistics with the number of mental illness patients
Oh my God.
that have either attempted to commit suicide, who have committed suicide, who have completely just lost it. And I mean, it's heartbreaking. I'm a big mental health advocate.
Yes.
And it's just something near and dear to me, especially because I understand it.
Right.
Because I was diagnosed with manic depression, bipolar disorder 2015, I believe. So I can understand it.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I thank God that, he's allowed me to manage through it and come into the right people, come in contact with the right people that can help me
Absolutely.
figure it out without losing myself.
Absolutely.
And I know everyone wasn't, privileged to that. So that's why I can understand it from that way. So how have you been managing through this whole pandemic?
Drew, honestly, when the pandemic first came, I didn't really believe it. I was like, oh my God, this is just a hoax.
Yeah.
Like, they're just talking. But as time went on, I began to feel like the walls were closing in on me because I too have a heart for mental health because I was diagnosed in 2006 with generalized anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And so I started taking medication for that. And through the years, I have gone, off and back on, my medication. And I just knew during the pandemic, like, I'm going to need my medicine because I don't understand, how I'm going to make it.
Right.
Being stuck in the house, not being able to do anything.
Right.
But I'm so glad that I began to have a regimen. And that was when I wake up, I said my prayers, I had my meditation, I had my daily things that I just started to do because during the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs,
Yes.
including me. I was
Yes.
laid off. But thanks be unto God, I am, a believer of the word and I am a faith-based person. And so
Yes.
the Lord sustained me through all of that, and he didn't allow me to sink into depression or sink into, just
Yeah.
being a person that was down all the time. And so once I began to meditate on the word, God just began to comfort me, and I didn't have to turn to medication. But even my child, she was homeschooled, and she would say sometimes, like, Mom, like, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this. I can't take it. The online is not really working for me. And I just began to pray, that
Wow.
God would heal her heart and heal her mind and comfort her when
Mm-hmm.
she didn't understand, and even help me, because this is something globally no one has ever dealt
I'm
with.
able to understand.
So you didn't understand it. And so I was praying for her little mind, because she's a child. She's not developed. And so all I can say is God. That's how I made it
Right.
through the pandemic, is prayer, God, having his word hidden in my heart when I didn't understand, just being honest with my feelings. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. You cannot change anything that you don't admit.
Yeah.
So I would have to admit out of my mouth, Lord, I'm feeling low today. Lord, I'm feeling lonely today.
Just being honest.
Just being
Yeah.
honest. And I also sought therapy instead of, a lot of times people want medication, but I sought therapy. I saw my therapist, and
Mm-hmm.
we did like the telecommunication,
Okay.
and she would talk to me, and I would be able to vent and just let her know how I was feeling. And so it's like self-care. So, and I believe that if I didn't have that and prayer, I don't know where I would be. So that's how I made it.
How did you explain everything to your daughter? Like, I mean, as a parent, like, how do you explain what's going on to a child?
Well, it's really hard. However, Eden is very smart. She's very mature. So she actually did more research than me. She
Okay.
began to look online. She began to look at the news, and she was like, Mom, I think this is really, really serious.
Mm.
And so she already knew. And so when we talked about how we were going to deal with self-care, I told her, anytime you're feeling low, depressed, and I explained to her what depression is.
Yeah.
When you can't get out the bed, when you really don't have anything positive to say,
Right.
when you don't feel good about yourself. And I was like, have you been feeling like that? She was like, yes, Mom, I've been feeling like that. I can't see my
Wow.
friends. I'm stuck in my bedroom trying to do work. And a lot of these kids, the world really didn't realize that a lot of these children were feeling like that.
Mm-hmm.
I began to go online and see children post about how they were so discouraged. Can you imagine seniors that had worked all of their lives, and then this last year they had to do online school?
Yeah.
They didn't understand, some of the things that the teachers were saying, and then the teachers were overwhelmed. So that's why I bring God back in it, because he's the center of my life. I had to use prayer as a weapon. That even when
Definitely.
I did not understand what to say to my 12-year-old daughter, I began to pray
Mm-hmm.
so that the Lord can comfort her. Because sometimes, if we be honest with ourselves, we can't even comfort ourselves. So
True.
how can
True.
we, what do they say when you get on the airplane? You got to put the mask on yourself first
Right.
before you
Before
can
you try
help.
to help somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I dealt with it. I just prayed, and I was very honest with her. Children know when their parents are lying or
Yeah.
trying to get over. So I was just honest. I said, Eden, I don't even know. And
That's
she,
being honest.
yeah,
Like, I
because
don't know.
I don't know. And we walked that thing together. My whole entire family, we walked it together. We made sure we stayed on the phone, because we don't all live together, but my siblings, my mom, my cousins, we made sure we stayed on the phone. We did FaceTime and everything. And that's how we made it through.
Man.
Yeah.
It's been really, really tough, especially for families like mine where we're so scattered and
Oh, yeah.
spread out. It was really tough. I mean, we missed most of the holiday, Easter, and so many birthdays. July for my family, everybody's either July, September.
Okay.
The majority of the families in those 2 months. So I mean, we missed birthdays and all of those things. So like you said, it was really just prayer. There's just praying, talking to God, and just staying in contact with one another, checking on each other, and just making sure everybody was good. And I think that just kind of helped us to temporarily feel better
Right.
just for the moment, but you're still in the back of your mind thinking like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how long this is gonna last. Like I really miss seeing everybody. I miss that, human to human interaction.
I
So
can only imagine for you too, because you live alone.
yeah,
So being in close quarters, especially because, like, I think for the first 2 months they kept saying y'all gonna quarantine 14 days, and then as it gets near the 14 days to me, up, we want you to quarantine 14 more days, and
right.
that happened like 2 or 3 more
Yeah. It was just
times.
a disaster in the beginning.
Right. So I
Nobody
can
knew.
only imagine how you felt when you had to be by yourself, or were you okay with that, or how did you deal with that?
No, well, really, what happened was I was more afraid of, getting my mom sick because when
Okay.
this first started, I was actually staying with her in
Okay.
Katy, Texas. So when this all started, I was really concerned with, being out, going to work, going to the kitchen, and all of those things, and then getting infected, not
Mhm.
knowing like they were talking about, and then
Mhm.
bringing it home. That was
Right.
really my biggest concern.
Right.
So I made sure that we stayed distant, even though we were in the same place. I
Mhm.
still made sure that we were distant because I didn't want to be the cause of my 60-year-old mom getting
Absolutely.
sick. So it was just really a nightmare in the beginning, and then it was back and forth with whether or not pets, could
Could
carry it
carry it.
and spread it, and so it was like just a nightmare, just
Yeah.
looking at them and making sure I'm not spreading it to them, they're not spreading it to me. I mean,
Mhm.
because they go outside and they
Mhm.
were interacting with the other dogs in the area
Right.
when they go out, so it was just a nightmare. But it was more so for me, it was just making sure that I didn't go into contact with many people
Mhm.
other than going to the grocery store. That was pretty much the only
Oh,
place
yeah.
I would have been in contact with
Mhm.
anybody. And I got scared because my dad was actually tested positive for COVID, and he was tremendously sick.
Oh my
Like he was
God.
near dead sick, and
Wow.
he got his story was he feels that he got it from someone who was in the store standing behind him. This was before social distancing. This was before we started doing all of the safety measures and all of those things.
Right.
So he knew when he came to Houston, he was at the store. He went back home to New Orleans, and by then he had already been around multiple people, my other siblings, and I mean he was near death dying. So
Oh
that
my
was like,
God.
I don't know, I don't get it. So I kind of limited going to the store,
Right.
and people don't really want to do the whole curbside thing because I like my stuff. I'm picky. I don't want
Oh my
just
God.
any kind of orange. I need a specific
You
kind.
are so picky.
I need a specific kind of orange. So I just like, no, I can't do the curbside because I watch how they shop.
Shop.
They just pick it up and put it in the thing. They
Mhm.
don't even look to see if it's rotten or anything.
Yeah.
Like they just put it in. I'm like, no, 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 no. I need to
Yeah. I
do it
couldn't do
myself.
that either. I couldn't do that either.
Yeah, I saw how they do it. So I'm like, nah, let me do it myself. But this was again before all of the social distancing and people were
Mhm.
still walking next to each other, touching each other. Nobody was really caring or anything. And then, we saw it kind of expand over time where they
Right.
only limited a certain amount of people in the store at one time. And then,
Mhm.
they designated certain days for elderly people only. So, it kind of changed over time once we started figuring this thing out a little bit more.
Right.
I think that kind of eased some of the pain and some of the the tension and just the misery of having to deal with this. We were learning more, we were finding out more, we
Yeah.
could now respond better because we
Correct.
knew more. So that kind of helped kind of get through the latter part of it. So maybe between July and up till now, kind of made it
Feeling a
feel a
little
little
bit.
bit, yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit better because we knew a little bit more now, even though we still have no clue, to sum it
Right.
up. I
Hence
think we
the
know.
reason why we glad that Trump is gone, because had he done what he was supposed to do
Man,
and tell
listen.
us, which in actuality, I believe that's what my husband had in December. Last
A lot of people think
December,
that.
yes,
A
my
lot of people
husband
think
was
that.
sick as a dog for like 7 days. And usually if he like gets the sniffles, like he suffered with bronchitis before,
Hmm.
but he was really sick. And I was like trying to nurse him back to health. And I'm like, he's like, no, I don't feel good. I'm like, you big baby, it's nothing. But he was really,
There's a
really
lot of people
sick.
who thought that they had
I
some
believe.
level, and I thought so too, because in November of last year, I had gotten so sick. I never had a fever.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was throw up. I had stomach nausea. I had a headache. But then when I would cough, it would be like this intense pain in my chest,
Yeah, I
like
think you
nothing I
had.
had ever felt ever in my life. And I'm like, what is going on? And I mean, I was just taking Tylenol and just like, okay, it must just be like a cold. I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on. And probably like after a week or so, it was, winding down. It was, I was feeling better. I'm like, but I still kind of had that aftermath while my stomach was still soft. I couldn't eat hard food. I was really eating light. I had lost probably like 25 pounds.
Oh my
And that
God.
was really scary for me because I'm sexy as it is.
Oh my
You know what I'm
God. This
saying?
boy is fooling
So
himself.
at 175 and you step on the scale and you say 151, 152, like whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh my God.
I got real scared. Like I hope I'm not like sick. But like I said, after a while I started, regaining my appetite and I started eating more and then I was good. But, I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
people say that they thought that
I
they
think that's what you
had.
had.
I probably did. It was
Because my
some
husband's
form.
symptoms was exactly what you just said.
And when people say that they tested positive for it, but they never had a fever, I'm like, okay, that's me. This sounds too familiar because I tempt myself every day, and I never had a fever.
Well, my husband did have a fever.
A high fever?
Yeah, he had a high fever, and the thing that made it different for me was he started talking about the body aches that was so
Body
bad,
aches,
and
yep.
he said that his lungs, like when he would breathe, it would hurt to breathe. And so when you do the research on COVID, those are like the major symptoms.
Symptoms.
And he had the headache, but he did have a fever. He did
Yeah,
have a fever.
I never had, and that's why I'm like, okay, so it can't be COVID. But I'm like, when I started hearing people who tested positive say, but they never had a fever.
Yeah, my
I'm like,
friend's
that was
son
me.
was fine. He had COVID, and I would call her. She's like, he fine. He upstairs, like playing on his PS4 game.
Yeah.
And I was like, he don't feel bad. She said, no, he eating and everything. But when she got him tested, he was fine.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So I guess it just depends on the person and
True.
their system or whatever. I don't know. Like we're still trying to figure it out.
Very
But
true.
I definitely believe I had a form of COVID
Yeah.
in November, long before we ever knew what it was. And I'm like, I wonder if I can get it again. I mean, luckily I've been tested 4 or 5 times now throughout this whole deal, and I've always tested negative. So that's the good news for me. And I've never felt sick, so there was no reason to think, okay, well this can't be accurate because I was never sick with anything this
You
whole
can
time.
get it again, though, because I know a person who's had it twice.
Right, I've seen in the news where people have said that they've caught it 2 or 3 times. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how's
That's
that possible?
crazy. It's
So
crazy.
we're still learning. We're still learning. But I mean, like you said, we just got to keep praying and keep pushing and just doing what we have to do, what works best for our family and all of
Absolutely.
those things, just so we can stay safe till this is all over with. And we don't know when this will be over with.
Absolutely.
So we got to keep acting like it's high priority, top priority, because we want to see this over with. We want to see those millions and millions of cases come all the way down to -0.
Absolutely.
You know
That's
what I
my
mean?
prayer.
-0.
-0. I don't
Everybody
wanna
who's in
see
the
it.
hospital, we want to see them out, recovered, living a full and healthy life. We just want this to be over, Lord. Over.
Please, God.
Oh, my God. Well, that kind of leads us into our inspirational moment, oh, God. Now, the inspirational thing that I wanted to share with everybody is just, listen, I know that, we are at a rough patch right now in this country, in the world, really. I mean, there's so much going on right now. You can't even talk about it in one show, one lifetime. It's just so much going on. But the bottom line is, I just want people to always remember and know that you are stronger than you believe. You have everything you need to get through this inside of you. Even if you are alone right now, there's no family or anything, no friends you can call on, just call on yourself, call on God, pray, meditate, fast, yoga, run,
Yep.
find a sport, find a hobby, go adopt a pet. There are pets looking for foster parents. If you have love in your heart and you're looking for someone to share it with, go and adopt a pet. Go and foster a pet. Go and spend time at the pet places so you can kind of share that love with people. Don't just sit inside moping, complaining, because that's when it's just going to overwhelm you. That's when it's going to do the damage, and that's what we don't want to happen.
Absolutely.
So my inspirational moment is to inspire people just to stay active, stay involved, keep praying, keep believing. We will get through this. We will be okay. Like Donnie McClurkin said, you'll find that you'll be just fine at the end of this.
Absolutely.
So that's my inspirational moment for that. So let's talk about entertainment. What's going on in entertainment, Miss Mia?
Listen, honey, Atlanta, honey, Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. Miss Nene is not coming back, honey.
What?
She said, "Oh no, she is not coming back."
But she left before though, right?
She left because they not signing these checks like they
Oh my
supposed
God.
to be.
Well, how much money she want?
I think she want like a little over $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, because she was getting $1 million an episode.
Is she the highest paid?
She was the highest paid. Then it was Candy.
Oh.
Now when she came back this last time, she was right below Candy.
Ah, gotcha.
So she wants to be the highest paid, and as she should.
Really?
Nene is like the matriarch of this show. She
I'm a
helps
Candy.
her
I like
start.
Candy.
Oh God, no! Candy talked through her teeth. Candy talked through her teeth. She worries.
Oh man.
Listen, Candy worries my nerves.
I love Candy.
Not me. You would love Candy.
I do. We're like the same. Me and Candy got the same type of personality.
Oh, that's
everything.
your bestie.
I love Candy.
Okay, you go ahead over there with Candy.
I just wish I could get into her restaurant one of these good old times.
Listen,
Lord have mercy.
can we get a double egg and a
Something.
chicken wing Candy? Candy Birds, can you please call DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com?
Okay. We waiting on you. You know they just opened up a new restaurant too. Shout out to Candy and Todd. They opened up a new one named after their son Blaze. It's Blaze Steaks or something.
Oh,
Steakhouse.
that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's an upscale. It's an upscale.
You know what? What I can say about Candy is that woman has a entrepreneurial mind.
Oh yeah, they
like
grinders.
it's like I think that she set her son up for this life, Blaze, because that's a perfect restaurant name,
Yeah,
Blaze Steaks.
Blaze.
Like that's
and then they have like the little fire, the flame thing as their logo. So it looks nice. It looks really nice.
Is it open?
I believe it open.
Oh, when we go to Atlanta, we gotta go.
Yeah, we definitely gotta go check it out.
Yes.
I hope they start like expanding and putting it in different cities because we don't want to have to always go to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, no,
You know?
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I want to
no.
expand because I really want to go to like Miami and LA.
I don't know why
those
people
places.
so excited about Miami. Like I've been so many times, and I've been like, oh, I'm ready to go.
I like Miami.
No, give me LA, give me New York, and
I
I'll
was
be
actually
good.
supposed to go to Miami in December, but I'm not able to go because I made another engagement, so I'm not able to go. But I love Miami. Speaking of Miami, honey, Miss Kenya Moore,
Uh-oh.
honey, she was
What's
gonna
she
try to
doing now?
give her husband a chance, Mark,
Mm-hmm.
but she filed them divorce papers, and so they really
I thought they were trying to work on it.
They was trying to work on it, but it's a no, baby.
Oh,
And
wow.
she said she got to go because her husband a whole queen. Mark, no, he's a queen. I don't think he like women.
So he's in Miami or New York?
No, he's in New York, but I talk about Kenya like she live in Miami because Kenya look like a Barbie doll. Like she should be. She had
look
one
like
of
a
them.
Barbie doll.
She remind me of one of them little Miami girls on the beach, and so yeah, she all over everywhere. But they had their honeymoon in Miami.
Okay,
So that's what made me bring her up. But
gotcha.
Kenya is back on the market for all of you fellas that want you some Kenya
Is
Moore.
she ready?
She's always ready.
Oh wow.
At 46 years
Six,
old,
yeah.
I think that she just want to be married. Some people like the idea of love
know.
and the idea of marriage.
They can
but
have that.
They don't understand marriage is hard work. When you take them vows and say, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, those are things that you saying you're now in covenant.
Man.
And especially when you said before God in a church and you live your life Bible-based and faith-based, that's a covenant. That's a vow. And the Bible says it's better to not make a vow than to make one and break it.
Yeah.
And I don't even really think that they both went into the marriage with a genuine. I think Kenya,
It was quick.
It was very quick.
quick.
She had been saying she wants to get married. She want to have a
Right.
baby. I believe she married him so that he can give her a baby. And then he showed his true colors. She didn't really take the time to do her
Get to know
research and vet him. So, listen, in entertainment, these girls are getting single.
So they have a new cast member, I heard, right?
They are going to have a new cast member, but they're not showing her face on the little clips. Like, they're making it to where you have to watch so you can really see who it is.
Wow.
But I'm excited, but I won't be watching like faithfully like Nene because I'm a
I've never
faithful.
really been a house. I'm not a big reality TV person, but I keep up with what's going on, of course.
Yeah, I love them all.
I'm like,
Potomac,
oh
all
God.
of them.
So you sit there and watch all of those?
All of them.
Salt Lake City too.
Now, Salt Lake City need to get their life because that's just a mess. On Salt Lake City, that woman that married her grandfather. Yes, you haven't
Lord,
seen it.
I like I said, I don't watch it. I saw the preview for it, and I'm thinking Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Now I
Real
love Salt
Housewives.
Lake City.
I've
But
never been to Salt Lake City.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my
Really?
God, it is so beautiful.
Oh,
in
you're gonna
Salt
have to
Lake
take
City.
me. Can you go?
Yeah, we gotta
Can you
go.
go skiing there?
Skiing, everything, mountain climb, everything. It is so beautiful in Salt Lake
I
City.
want to go. I really want to go to the church of one of the ones on the show because no, seriously, her grandmother married this pastor, and in their family, in order for her to get the church, she has to marry into
What you mean, get the church?
well,
Inherited?
correct, inherit the church. Thank you.
Oh,
So
okay.
she had to marry her grandfather. It's actually her step grandfather because her grandmother had been married twice.
It's the same difference.
Well, she's not really blood related to him.
Yeah, but the fact that he's the step grand,
ain't it
like
crazy?
this, it's off
But
limits.
she said before her grandmother died, her grandmother brought her to the bedside and say, "Listen, when I die, I want you to marry your grandfather."
Oh wow.
She said that on TV.
Oh my.
It's a whole vibe, baby. You gotta
Oh
watch
my.
it.
I don't think I could watch somebody marrying their grandfather. That's
They already married. They've been married now for
Oh,
17
Lord.
years.
So do they do like married people stuff?
Yes, Lord.
Uh-uh.
She said in the first year she couldn't. She said every time he would ask, she would always tell him.
How old is he?
He's like 70 and she's like 40.
And he's still trying to get it on that 70?
Yeah, like on the
Yes,
show,
indeed.
they are
Ooh,
very.
that's too much for me.
Drew.
That's too much for me.
It's funny to me.
70 and 40. Oh my God.
I love it. Well, she may be like 45, but it's still a big age difference.
Yeah, that's still. He's the step grandfather. Forget
Yeah.
the age. Let's just throw the age out. This is your step grandfather.
I don't think she married for love, though. Matter of fact, I know she didn't marry for love because she
Plenty
said
of
that
people
she
don't.
was doing it to honor her grandmother.
That's up for debate. We need to see something in writing that the grandmother said that, because there's no way I could see a grandmother saying, "Oh, when I die, go ahead and marry my husband." Here,
I can. The ones that are rooted and grounded in tradition, and this is not, I forgot their denomination, but how she was talking about it, why would she want to marry this old man?
for money.
Well, that's true too because they have a lot of it. Like
I'm
they are
sure.
filthy. That's okay. I didn't think about that. That's very true.
You know,
too.
Salt Lake City and Utah in the whole, that's Mormon town. Everything is Mormon.
Okay.
So,
okay.
philosophy and stuff out there might be a little bit different than what it is here in the South and other
Gotcha.
places, but it is definitely Mormon, whatever, because that's all the churches are Mormon.
Wow.
And I learned that when I went there, maybe the first time in the airport, there was actually a Mormon convention. And I mean, everybody in the airport was Mormon.
What?
They were friendly and nice. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not like, mean and ugly people. But their theology and philosophy is just completely different from everybody else's. So that could be, acceptable for them
Got
to
it.
be marrying your cousin and your grandfather and all of that. But my stomach can't,
Your
hold
stomach
that.
can't take
I
it.
can't take that kind of
But
stuff.
listen, let me tell you this bit of tea before we move off of entertainment. You know her and her mother don't speak now because the mother actually wanted to marry the grandfather.
So the daughter and wow.
So the granddaughter.
So the daughter and the granddaughter, wow.
So the daughter and the granddaughter, who is the mother and daughter,
Are
they don't
beefing over
are
the step
beefing
grand.
because yes,
Oh, that's some sick stuff there.
ain't that crazy?
That is some sick stuff.
And I'm here
there.
for it
Oh
all.
my God. Only in Salt Lake City.
I am here.
Now, can you see somebody in Atlanta doing that? Can you see one of them marrying their grandfather and all that?
I can.
I can't see it. I can't. Now, they might be low, but they ain't that low.
I think you just being.
I can't. My stomach can't handle it. Like, oh, you gonna marry your grandfather? Oh my God. It's not that much
Listen.
money in the world to make me want to marry my grandmother.
Listen, that's what they doing over in Salt
Oh,
Lake
my
City.
Lord
I want to
Jesus.
go to the woman church. I want to shake the hand of the woman who married her granddaddy.
No way. Thank you. I'm good. Y'all let me know how that turned out because I will not be there.
Yes, you will.
I
Drew, we
know.
have to do stuff like that.
You can go to the Mormon church. I'm going in the mountain.
We are commentators. We have to know these things.
I do not want to see a woman who married her. Like, girl, you crazy. Oh,
Oh,
my God.
my
I can't
God.
do it. My stomach can't do it. I'll be throwing up in there.
Oh, Lord, help him, Jesus.
So that's all we got going on in entertainment.
For right now, honey, y'all can't handle
That's
no
a lot.
more.
That's too much right there by
That's
itself.
a lot. Y'all can't handle no more what Mimi
No,
got
no,
to
no,
tell
no,
y'all.
no, no, no. That's too much. I had no idea that that's what they was doing in Salt Lake
That's
City.
what they do in Salt Lake. They
Lord.
marry their papas and their granddaddies.
That sounds like something in Willacoochee. Real Housewives of Willacoochee.
Listen, they need to bring Real Housewives of Houston. Bravo.
You know they tried to do that. Was
They
it Real
did.
Housewives or one of the other ones?
They tried to do Real Housewives of Dallas.
Dallas.
But them girls don't have no sense. They didn't know how to work it.
I know they was talking bad about Houston. I know that much.
They really were talking bad about Houston.
They
but
just
you
shot
know,
Houston all the way down.
Yeah, because I think that they didn't go to the right areas to get the right women.
What
Because
areas did they go to? I'm
okay,
thinking they go in River Oaks.
Well, listen, you can't have all River Oaks when you're doing Housewives. You
Well,
gotta
what's they
have
gonna do?
somebody to. You can go to River Oaks. You can go to Sugarland. You can go to the Woodlands.
I don't think they have that much excitement in those areas.
That's why they need a little
They gotta go to the
sprinkle or
fofo.
something. Listen, it's a bunch of people that they could. Please don't have no fofo now. Andy
Fofo.
Cohen. If you do Real Housewives of Acres Home,
Go
we're
to the
gonna have.
fofo.
That's gonna be a hit. The
Go
fofo,
to the fofo.
baby. No.
Yeah, they're not ready for Houston. 'cause
They
we
not
gonna get
ready for
into it. I want
Houston.
them to go to the fofo and get a Real Housewife. Go to Acres Home and go to Third One and get a Real Housewife.
Baby, don't you go no third ward, honey. The Real Housewives will be walking down the street.
Oh man, that would be
Listen.
hilarious. Now that I
They
will
should
watch.
go to Bissonnette.
Go to Bissonnette.
Real
Go to
Housewives of
Bissonnette and guess now.
Listen, baby.
I'll watch it then. If they go there, I'm watching.
Of
I'll
course you
tune in
will.
faithfully.
Of
'cause I know
course.
that's gonna be.
Would
a
you watch
mess.
it if they did Real Housewives of Louisiana?
Oh, definitely. New
Why?
Orleans? New Orleans, yeah. Not Louisiana, but New Orleans, yeah. There's
But
a
you
lot of
don't-
great, funny talent in New Orleans. What you mean?
Listen, I don't want to watch a show where everybody's saying, yeah, no, baby.
I love it.
Oh,
I love
my
it.
God. You that accent. How long you been in Houston, Texas?
Texas, 10, 11 years, 2010. So, yeah, 10 years
And that
officially.
And that accent is
It ain't
still
going
strong.
nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Once New Orleans, always New Orleans. That's how we roll.
Listen.
But I could see like Pastor Deborah Martin being a housewife.
Oh, yeah.
She'll get them all to check. Baby,
How
I
she do
love
it?
That's how she do. Baby,
Can you speak Creole?
A little bit.
Oh, do something for the fans.
Oh no, y'all not paying me enough for that.
Oh, baby, y'all, I
Y'all
see.
got to give me a little bit more money to do all that.
Listen, I told y'all he's a bit much. This is what I have to deal with, listeners. This is what I have to deal with.
She got it easy, y'all. She don't know what she talking.
Oh, wait.
So what we got going on with the COVID-19 news and update? Any news and update going on that we need to share with our listeners and our viewers?
Listen, the numbers are going up.
That's all we need to know.
That's all y'all need to know. Y'all need to
In
know.
other words, stay your home.
Stay your tail home. Wash your tail.
Oh,
Okay?
please.
Wash your tail. Wash
Speaking
your
of
hands.
washing your tails, why is it that the toilet paper keeps going? What was going on with the toilet paper?
Because these people have an infatuation.
What they was using before, though?
Listen, I don't even think they was wiping themselves.
It couldn't have been. I don't understand what people
Just
infatuated with
nasty.
toilet paper
Just
for.
nasty.
And then they only infatuated with the good brand. They leave the store brand there on the shelf.
Just leave it on the shelf. They just nasty.
I went to get toilet paper the other day and it was just nothing but the generic brand, just a whole aisle of the generic brand. I'm like, so nobody wanted to use this one? All of the Charmin was gone, the Scott was gone, the Angels, all of that was gone.
Oh, so you one of them people too.
I just wanted one.
But you one of those people where you don't like generic stuff.
No, it got to be soft for me.
See, but I don't like generic ketchup. I don't like generic
Yeah,
man.
no, I don't
like,
know. I
see,
get
I
that.
would never go and buy the Kroger brand of stuff. Like for me, it's gonna have to be the real thing. Like I want me some Heinz ketchup. I don't want no.
I do
Hunt's.
organic now because, that
Oh,
stuff has a
really?
lot of processed stuff, the sugars, the high fructose corn syrups, like that stuff I stay away from. So condiments, ketchup stuff is all organic for me because I can't do any of those sugars anymore.
You ain't put me on to that.
I thought you knew.
But I
So syrup too. Like I spend $10 on syrup because I get the real maple syrup. I don't do like the Aunt Jemima and all that because it has that fructose corn syrup.
Where do you do your grocery shopping?
I do HEB. You
And
said
they have-
when?
No, I say where.
Where? HEB.
So they do organic stuff at HEB?
HEB has organic. HEB has all of the real stuff, and they do a lot of local, farmers and products as well.
Okay.
But I mean, you're gonna have to pay more because the syrup that I buy is like $9, $10, and it's organic
Listen, if
maple
it's gonna
syrup.
help me,
They help
I
you to
want
live
it.
longer. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
I ain't tripping.
So I don't do none of the sugars and none of the condiments. So everything has to be organic and all natural ingredients because I'm not, I'm trying to live as long as I can. So if cutting back on that high fructose corn syrup will help
Absolutely.
me fight COVID and live longer, then I'm all for it. So that's just, that's just me. That's just your health tip for the day. Stay away from all of that fructose corn syrup,
Stay
all
away
that
from it.
processed stuff. Stay away from it because it'll help you. And I've actually heard the doctor say that, what we eat and consume, actually
Yes.
helps us to be able to fight diseases and viruses. So, consult with your physician and just kind of see where you are with your regimen and your body to see what
Absolutely.
helps you to be able to fight off COVID and anything else. I saw in the news the other day that there was like a 90-year-old who beat it. 93, I think, beat COVID. Was
Wow.
in the hospital for several months.
Wow.
And of course, they was thinking that he wasn't going to make it, but he recovered and he was checked out in great health. 93 beat COVID.
Look at God.
So I'm like, wow. But I mean, they said that he was very active. He was a runner. He was, took care of himself. He wasn't a smoker or
paid
anything.
off.
Right. And it paid off.
It
His
paid
body was strong enough at 93 to be able to fight off COVID. So, that's what I want to be. I want to live as long as I can. And
Me too.
if God forbid, I come in contact with COVID, Novid, or anything else,
Not
I want to be able to fight it off. You know what I'm saying?
Not Novid.
Oh, man. So that's just where we are with that. So that's your news, COVID news. Just, in other words, stay home. Stop going out. Stop going to these parties that I see everybody at on
Ooh, they
social
be at
media.
the club,
Clubs,
child.
smoking, the hookah bars. Like, what's going on?
They crazy.
I don't know what's going on. I just don't know. I'm like, I guess they don't care anymore.
No.
Either you don't care, or you just thinking that it's all a game.
They'll go to the club, but won't go to no church now.
They won't go to church. And I'm like, listen, you don't come by me because these are the same people that's gonna be in the grocery store.
Exactly.
And you don't know if you done came in contact with somebody and you walking down the
Exactly.
same aisle with me coughing and sneezing. You better go sit down somewhere.
I know that's what you say. Is it sit down or sit
Sat down. You better go sit down somewhere.
Oh, okay, New Orleans. All right.
Lord have mercy. Don't get me started on that. I really do get tired of seeing people partying like there's nothing going on.
Me too. It's just a shame because it's
It's
like
more
you
than a
just
shame, it's
living
disgusting.
reckless. You living reckless.
Living a whole reckless life. A
Yeah.
whole reckless
A whole
life. Ooh, that's a
reckless
song
life.
title. Living a reckless life. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to write a
Well,
song.
Go on, write it,
A
man.
reckless
God.
life. Well, yeah, that's a good song right there.
Get the writing.
So help us manage our finances during this whole pandemic, man. We know that well, we don't know. I know that you are, helping people get rid of some debt and trying to help people, with their finances and manage their money better. So tell our listeners a little bit about that and kind of help us, get on the right track financially.
Absolutely. That is one of my passions. I am a financial literacy consultant. I work for
That's what I was trying to say, financial literacy consultant.
Yes, I purchased a franchise of financial education
Come on, purchasing
services.
a franchise.
Yes, I am an entrepreneur. I own my own business where we not only restore your credit, but we repair and help you leverage your credit, and we can remove student loans, medical bills, show you your income to debt ratio and what it's supposed to be, let you know what credit cards are good for you, because there are some credit cards that are horrible for you that you should never get.
touch.
And so you can definitely reach out to me to do that. Credit is king. You cannot really do much without having good
true.
credit. People think that, I can have a lot of money, and I say all the time, and excuse me, cash is king, but credit is power. You can have, like, I had a client who had $100,000 in the bank, but he could not get approved for a house.
Wow.
He had $100,000 in the bank, but he couldn't even get approved for a house. And I had to break it down for him. These are the things that they're needing to see on your credit report. Why would they trust you with a $500,000 house? You only have $100,000 in the bank. So that means that you've been doing something to acquire this money, but you need to put those efforts to getting your credit on track. And so that's what I'm about, making sure that my people have buying power. We spend so much money on shoes and clothes. We
Right.
go in the Galleria and
Stupid
we
stuff.
stunt. We buy $1,000 shoes, but we don't even have a life insurance policy.
That's a
Our
sad
credit
mess.
is jacked up. We're not homeowners. Like, people go and get Range Rovers and pull them up to an apartment complex.
Ay, ay,
Like,
ay.
where are our priorities, my
We don't
people?
have none.
And so this is what I'm doing to try to help people manage their finances. Listen, spend your money wisely, because we are living in a day and time where we're going to see a change.
Mm-hmm.
And you would rather know about that change than have an attack. I say all the time, Lord, I would rather know what's to come than for it to just sneak up on me. And
Right.
to go back to even the election, people feel like, oh, we prayed and now we've gotten what we wanted. But guess what? The devil is always on his job. So you have to stay
busy.
vigilant. You still have to stay prayerful and stay on the wall and stay
Yeah.
before God. And that's what you have to do for your finances. You have to daily, I look at my credit report.
Mm-hmm.
Daily, I see, okay, is anybody trying to use my name? I'm on top of that. Why, Drew? Because I want to leave a legacy for my child.
Right.
I don't want to die and she just has maybe a $20,000 insurance
That's not
policy.
enough to bury
That's
you.
not enough, especially for her to live on.
Right.
I want her to be able to have her own business, a business that's already established. I can hand it over to her and she can take the baton and she can run with it. So that is what I'm focused on. You can always reach me at Mia Nelson Tatum on Facebook and Instagram. And I also have cards out there. But yeah, Financial Education Services is one of the most amazing companies there is. One little last tidbit, we have what makes us different from places like Lexington Law and these other credit places is that we have over 1,000 credit attorneys. This is all they do. They are credit attorneys. They advise you. They know credit laws. And most people who are not diverse in that, they don't know like specific credit. So that's what we do. We take your credit. And for those of you who are saying, well, Mia, are you fixing the credit? Because I don't want you to know my credit score. Listen, your information is private. I don't have access to it.
Right.
It goes into the company. They look at your credit report and they see all the things that you have on your credit. And they specifically draft up what they're going to say to the creditor to make sure that it's taken off your credit.
Gotcha.
And so we have information that most people don't have. And so people, listen, if you don't do it with me, I want you to get to the point to where your finances are in order. You have buying power. And most importantly, you are able to leave something for your children and your children's children. Okay? Let's
That's what
honor
the
the
Bible
Bible
says.
and let's follow the Bible in its entirety, not just the parts that we like.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I am with the financial
So
literacy.
quickly tell people and just kind of give them an idea, because we often hear of people who contract people like yourself to help them rebuild and repair their credit, and they end up getting sticked in the end. They don't, they end up becoming a victim of a scam or whatever. So just kind of tell people and reassure them with your business and your company, like, what are you doing specifically to make sure that people, what can you do to make sure people feel, assured that you won't take advantage of them, that you won't, try to give them the short end of the stick, all of those things.
Definitely. Drew, thank you so much for bringing that up. I am the liaison between the customer, which is the person needing their credit, and Financial Education Services. However, it is my business. So therefore, when they sign up, I am the go-between. So I let all of my customers know I don't never, ever leave them. They have my cell phone number. They know where I am. I give them as much information as I possibly can. In actuality, before they sign up, I give them all the information, because I tell people all the time, I'm not selling you anything. I'm offering you a service.
Yeah.
That's just like when you come to Christ. It's either yours to accept or reject.
Exactly.
I can only offer you
And that's
salvation.
free.
And exactly, and that's free. And so I don't leave them. I give them everything. And even before they sign up, I ask them to go to the website. I ask them to look at everything so
And
that
make
they
sure
can
you
see.
give them the website,
Exactly.
website and information again, just so they have that, because our people are a little slow sometimes.
It's Financial Education Services. You can always reach me directly, and I can send you the link of where you need to go, and you can look at everything you need to look at. Our company offers 1-800 numbers. We have a call center that's open until from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're always available to call them. I'm always available. My business partner is always
Good.
available. I just make myself available to people because
Right,
I
because they
know
want to
that
be able to
people
talk to you.
have been scammed before.
Yeah.
And I just try to let them know, listen, number one, I don't need your money. This is a passion for me. Because if it wasn't a passion for me and this was the only way that I pay my bills, well, then that would be kind of sad.
Yeah.
But so it's a passion for me. It is something that I feel that God has ordained me to do
Right.
because I never wanted to be in business doing something just for money. I
Yeah.
wanted to love it. And this credit business I actually love because I've seen how it changes people's life. My business partner came into this business with a 434 credit score, and in 5 months he is now at a 752. He has
Man.
a couple of credit cards. One of his credit cards is a $90,000 limit. He has an American Express 35,000. He
Wow.
has Navy Federal Credit with a $62,500 credit limit. That's in 5 months, y'all.
Wow.
5 months.
Dang, that is good.
So the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I use the company myself, and I tell people all the time. I get reports on my app that says, "Oh, Mia, your credit went up 30 points today. This account was deleted off your credit report." So I use it
It's
for
working.
myself. That's the difference.
It's
And other
working.
people, when you call on, they're not using it. They're
Right.
just offering you a service because they're getting paid. I actually use the service that
Gotcha.
I'm offering you.
And you can always connect with me if you go to our website, DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com. You can always connect with her, even on our social media pages. Her handles are on there as well, at Drew and Mia Podcast Show. So I just wanted to go, move into our music spotlight segment.
Ooh.
It's real simple for me. There's one guy I've known many, 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 many years. I watched him grow and just grow and become this big music superstar. And I'm talking about none other than my good friend PJ Morton.
Oh, yes.
PJ is one of the most genuine and just down to earth, super cool people I've ever met. As big as he is in this industry, he's always a phone call, a text message away. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. And PJ released his new music. He got a Christmas album out. And for those of you who are not familiar with who PJ is the son of Bishop Paul Martin from New Orleans, Louisiana, the founder and president of the Full Gospel Fellowship. And then he's also the son of Pastor Deborah Martin. He's a member of Maroon 5. So
Yes.
spotlight goes to my friend PJ Morton. This is something we're going to do every show. We're going to, highlight and put the spotlight on one of our favorites so you guys can get hip to them if you're not already, and go and download their music and go and support them. Just check them out. And we also want to give a shout out to our H-Town homegirl, Des, who's a contestant on The Voice.
Okay, Des.
Des is not getting the recognition that she deserves. But listen, I've worked with Des many times.
I
and
love Des.
Yeah, she's a great person, great
Love
girl.
her.
And the music's just been in her for forever. I when I think about where she is now and all of the years she's been singing and backing people up, like, I'm just glad to see her shine now. So
Me
huge
too.
shout out to Des, contestant on The Voice. You can go and connect with her. It's at Dez, DESZ, Music Official on Instagram. Again, it's DESZ, Music Official on Instagram, at Dez Music Official. And let's just support her and encourage her, because The Voice is nothing easy at all.
No, it's not.
And it's a lot of strenuous stuff, meticulous stuff, and she's been hanging in there with the big ones. So we want to, support her and just show her love and encourage her. And we hope that she takes it all the way home so she can represent for H-Town.
Yes, she can do it.
H-Town.
Go, Des.
So shout out to Des, shout out to PJ, my people. I love you guys. So Miss Mia, what's going on with Miss Mia's moment?
Listen, in the Mia's moment, I want you guys to know that everything you need is already on the inside of you. I was praying this morning while on my way to work, and the Lord just began to give me release. And I was like, Lord, release. And he just began to give me release financial blessings, release a go forth attitude, release the anointing, release the power, release holy boldness, release bad relationships, release people that don't belong in your life. So I want you to know that you don't need anybody. Everything that you need is already on the inner side
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you guys who are listening to understand God sees and he knows. I don't know what your faith is or who you believe in, but whatever power you believe in, know this: you are enough. So many
Yes.
times we go
Yes.
and we walk around feeling like we need other people, we need things, we attach ourselves to things because we feel like we are not enough. Let me encourage you today, sweetheart, young man who's out there and has lost his way, young woman who has a bunch of kids and she doesn't know where her next meal
Man.
is going to come from, the
Man.
entrepreneur who is starting off and don't understand how they're going to make it. You are enough. Failure is a teacher. Failure is an
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not
Yes.
it's not a sentence. It's an experience. So pick up the pieces and keep pushing. You have to know, if you put God first and if you keep your eyes on God, do you know why the disciple began to sink? Because he kept his eyes off of God. When you take
Took
your
his eyes
eyes
off
off
the
of God,
prize.
you begin to sink. So when you keep your eyes on him, and number two, understand that you are enough. Number three, get a regimen to where you are
Yeah.
meditating on the word, to where you are talking to God. You will soon find out that peace will be your portion. You will then become anchored in peace each and every day.
Man.
Don't let this pandemic get you to a place in God that you don't believe. Because let me tell you something, it's only a test. God is watching to see how you're going to respond. But you have
Man.
to go through the process. Okay? Just know you're enough. And we over here at the Drew and Mia Show, we love y'all.
We love you, and there's
Listen,
nothing you can do about it. We're not going to steal that from Yolanda and AV, but we love you guys. There is nothing you can do about it. We're here for you. We're here to entertain, encourage you,
absolutely.
inform you. This is all for you guys. Otherwise, we'll just be here talking and just wasting time. So it's all for you guys. So listen, make sure you connect with us on social media. It's at Drew and Mia Podcast Show. For you guys who don't know how to spell Drew, DreuxMiA, Mia, MIA, at Drew and Mia Podcast Show. And then, of course, connect with us and visit our website, DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com. That's it for us, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Be safe. We love you. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.